up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. So I just finished watching episode 2 of House of the Dragon. Now before I get into this video, just want to remind you guys to hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Please don't forget that my YouTube memberships is up, so go over there and check that out if you want to become a member. I've got 2 levels over there for you to become members. Both have different perks. Level 1 has priority replies, polls, and live streams with me. Level 2 has all of my reactions, including this one, of all of the shows that I watch, all the movies, and all uncut try not to laughs. So you get that plus everything that comes with level 1. Now, this is starting to get really, really interesting. So it took me a little bit to remember what the name of the king's brother. He is Damon. Okay, so in this episode, the king has got to find a wife, and you see the princess, she's trying to let them know, like, she's got intelligence. She knows a thing or two, but they don't want to listen to her because she's a girl or because she's too young or whatever the case may be. So what I kept wondering was why his right-hand man, I forget his name, why does he keep sending his daughter down to go see the king? I'm like, something is up. Like, in that episode that I watched, the first episode, I was just like, there was something weird about the way that he told her to go see about him and the way he wanted her to dress. And I was just like, he's trying to pimp her out to him or something. Like, what is going on? It seems like he is or was using his daughter to kind of make his way into his family, I guess. I don't know. It was something strange. There was just something so weird about the way that he told her. And she is the princess's best friend. Like, they're always together. So I was like, this is really, really weird. So in this episode, you see him tell her that again at one point. You know, she makes it her business to go see about him. And then at one point you see her with the king, and she's kind of looking at him a certain way. And I kind of picked up on that. I was just like, why is she looking at him like that? Like, what's going on here? Does she like him? Is she intimidated by him? Like, I wasn't really understanding why she was looking at him a certain way, but it wasn't a regular look. So anyway, the brother, Damon, this dude, I don't know, like, he seems to be really, not really evil, but he seems to be no good. He's mad because he doesn't get the title of being an heir. His niece is the king's daughter. So he went ahead. Now, this is the part where I kind of didn't understand. And I was just like, did I miss something? So, lost my train of thought, y'all. Oh, so I don't know, he stole an egg that was placed in the crib of what was supposed to be the king's son. And at one point, there's a meeting that's called with the king and all his councilmen or whatever. And everyone's there, including the princess, and they basically let him know, like, his brother stole an egg and she's concerned as to which one. And I'm like, why does that matter? Like, in my head, I'm like, why does that matter? But then I kind of understood it later on, because when they were on the bridge and they, the king's people and the king's brother's people were on that bridge and they were kind of faced off, they went over there to go get that egg back. And then she came in, flying in with her, I guess, her transportation. I don't even know what that thing is, but transportation. But so she goes in because she wants to prevent bloodshed. So she kind of gets in between them and she's talking to him, and she's basically telling him, like, if you're going to do something, just kill me, because that's the only way that you're going to get heir to the throne. And then they're going back and forth talking about how his side chick was pregnant. And I'm like, are you kidding me? The whole time they're talking, his side chick is sitting there looking like, are you kidding me? Like, are you serious? So she's clearly upset. And then at one point she leaves. So it ends up being, from what I understand, that she's really not pregnant, that they only just said that for whatever reason. But anyway, so the princess gets in trouble for going over there. He's really upset. So in the midst of all of this, the guy with the dreads, he is married to the king's cousin. So at one point they meet in the courtyard because one of their meetings got a little heated. So they went in this courtyard, and it was him, his wife, and the king. And they're apologizing, they're talking about everything, and they're talking about the fact that he has to find a wife. Like, I guess that's the order. Like, he says it's only been half a year since, my wife passed. He's not ready to remarry. He doesn't want to, in my opinion, but I guess that's just the order. Like, he has to. So they're proposing. Like, at first I didn't know who the girl was. And I forgot that I saw their daughter when they were having that tournament. And so he's talking about binding their families together and proposing that he marries his daughter. His daughter is like 12. I'm like, what? Like, really? 12? Now, I don't know what it was like back in the day around those times. I don't know if that was something normal, but the king seemed to be really bothered by that. And I guess it's part because she's so young, and part because he doesn't want to get married, and he probably feels bad because he's marrying so soon. And that just goes to show how much he loved his wife. So they're talking, and you see them kind of walking around the I guess whatever the courtyard is, and the guy with the dreads, he's watching. And then at one point, the king's cousin is sitting down when the princess is watching. And they have a little exchange, basically asking her, like, are you mad that your father has to marry? And she's like, are you mad because it's your daughter? Like, like, they're going at it. And I'm like, yo, like, they're supposed to be family. So the cousin is really, like, talking to her, letting her know, like, look, this is what it is. Deal with it, basically. And kind of, like, trying to belittle her a little bit. Like, she's too young to know what's really going on. I wouldn't say belittle because she is young, but I think that she knows more than people think that she does. That's just me. I know this is only the second episode in, but that's just my opinion. So anyway, later on, we see that the king and the princess's best friend, they're in his chambers, talking or whatnot. And she gave him a little gift because he had I guess one of his little sculptures kind of fell and broken. So she fixed it for him and gave it to him as a gift. And she's kind of looking at him, and you can tell she's nervous because she's picking at her skin. I don't know what it is about her picking her skin around her nails like that, but man, she does that when she's nervous, clearly. So he's kind of looking at her a certain way, but not as much as she's looking at him a certain way, if that makes sense. And so they're talking to each other. And at one point he asks her, like, does Renata know that? I think that's her name, Renata. Does she know that we're having these conversations? And the friend is like, no. And he's like, all right, let's keep it that way. So basically, he doesn't want his daughter to know that they're having these conversations. They seem to have some type of chemistry, in my opinion. So eventually he has to choose who he's going to marry. They're all sitting at this meeting. And before that, the king sits down with the princess and basically reams her for going to see his brother, without protection, not without protection because the guys were there, but basically just leaving and not saying anything. And he's like, you're my only child. You're the only heir. Like, you could have been killed. So they're talking to each other, and you know, he basically tells her, like, look, I have to marry. I don't want to, I would never replace your mother, but it is what it is. Like, I have to do it. She's like, look, I know I'm your daughter, but your loyalty is to the kingdom first, basically. So, later on, at the end, towards the end of the episode, we see that they're all in this meeting that he's getting ready to announce who he's going to marry. And so his daughter is there, his right hand man, all the councilmen, the guy with the dreads, the girl, the best friend, she's there. They're all there. So he's announcing, he's like, okay, I have made my decision on who I'm going to marry. The guy with the dreads kind of sits up like he knows already who he's going to marry. And you know, his daughter's looking at him and she gives him the nod of approval, like, go ahead, do your thing. And he ends up choosing the best friend. And I'm like, what? Dude with the dreads, I forget his name. He was livid. His right hand man was happy, of course, because he's choosing his daughter to marry. Meanwhile, though, the princess is so not happy. She's looking at her friend. Her friend's looking at her with tears, like, this is, I didn't expect this type of thing. So she's upset. And I was just like, whoa. So then at the end of the episode, we see the dude with the dreads talking to someone, and it ends up being Damon. And I'm like, oh, isn't he being a little bit dirty? I'm like, oh boy, this is gonna get really interesting. He's pissed off, his brother's pissed off, so no good can come of this at all. And they keep showing this place. I forgot the name of the place that they said, but there's these men getting tortured at this place where there's a bunch of crabs and they're getting eaten up. Speaking of eaten up, there's something wrong with the king's skin. Like, at one point in the first episode, there he had a wound in his back that refused to heal. Now his fingers damn near black and they put it in maggots. That was so disgusting. But something's up with his health. Something's going on with him. But I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. But anyway, yeah, this is going to be really interesting. So far, I'm rating this 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5 so far. Leave your comments down below. Let me know if you enjoyed my review. Let me know what you guys thought of episode 2 of House of the Dragon if you guys saw it. And once again, if you haven't done so, subscribe to my channel, hit like, share. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys can get notified whenever I pop up on your feed. Also, do not forget that my reaction will be on my YouTube memberships for members only. So if you want to see my reaction, you got to go over there and become a member. I'll see you guys later. Toodles!